Hello, thank you for making it to your mat today. I'm Kelly, if you do not know me. We're going to get started in child's pose today. So find your space on your mat, bring your big toes to touch behind you, let your knees fall to the edges of your mat, and then reach out towards the top edge and sink your forehead down towards the earth. It may not actually reach the earth, and that's okay. You can kind of hang out in space. And then maybe you roll your forehead side to side if it does reach the mat. Massage out your third eye center, your seat of intuition. Putting pressure on our third eye center actually helps to activate our vagus nerve, which is this giant nerve that runs through our body and helps turn on our rest and digest system. Start bringing your awareness to your breath. Start lengthening your inhales to a count of 4. Pause at the top. And then exhale for a count of 5 or 6. Seal your lips and feel the breath move in and out through your nostrils. Notice the temperature as it comes in. Maybe it's different when it releases. I'm going to be offering a number of suggestions today during practice, but please know that today and all days that this is your practice. So you take what you want and leave what you don't. And that means taking this pose, child's pose, at any point during the practice or skipping any chaturangas you'd like to skip. Or it also means feeling free to take a pose to a different place whenever you'd like. Inhale, find tabletop, stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And if you haven't already, feel free to start the playlist. And let's take the first couple breaths to just feel out your tabletop. So you can take some circles around your wrists. You can move your hips back towards your heels and then forward. You can rock side to side. And just continue to move and lengthen your breath. Oftentimes, the second we come up from child's pose, we're tempted to just let our breath go naturally. And see if you can continue those lengthened inhales and lengthened exhales. Come back to a neutral tabletop position, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Take an exhale. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, cow pose. Exhale, press the earth away, cat, curl up through your spine. Inhale, cow. Shoulder blades together behind you. Exhale, cat, chin to your chest. Inhale, cow. Look up. Exhale, cat. Curl into yourself. Inhale, find a neutral tabletop position. Tuck your toes and shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. You can move your feet back a little bit if you like a little bit more length in your down dog. Feel free to bend your knees a ton here. This may or may not be your first down dog of the day, so your hamstrings may feel a little bit tight. If you bend your knees, press down into the pointer finger and thumb of your hands and try to lift your sits bones up towards the ceiling a little bit more. And then feel your heels sink toward the earth, although they may never reach the earth. And now start to pedal it out. So straighten your left leg and bend your right knee. And then switch it out. Bend your left leg, straighten your right. And let's do that again on each side, 2 more times. Straighten your left. Through center, straighten your right. Through center, straighten your left. Once more, straighten your right and bend your left. And then find a nice soft bend in both knees and press your hands down and forward and shift your hips up and back. Gaze towards your navel. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lift your heels and tiptoe all the way up to the top of your mat. Let your feet find near your hands, bend your knees so your torso is touching your thighs. Reach for your elbows with your hands and drop your head. Ragdoll. Start to rock side to side. Feel your lower back release. And drop your head to let go of anything you might be holding on to. And there's nowhere else you have to be except for right here on your mat right now. And take a moment to be so grateful for that. Inhale, slowly rise up to standing, 1 vertebrae at a time. Reach up towards the ceiling, mountain pose. Ground down through all 4 corners of your feet. Lift your toes up off the earth, spread them wide, and then set them down 1 at a time. Shift your weight back into your heels until your knees lift and your quads catch. Rotate your pinkies in toward one another, and then soften the sides of your neck. You can gaze up towards the ceiling if you'd like, or close your eyes maybe and bring your gaze inward. Inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Bend your knees as much as you'd like and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Reach the crown of your head towards the room in front of you. You can stay on your pinky or on the tips of your fingers, or bring your hands to your shins if you'd like. Try to find an anterior tilt in your pelvis. So try to tilt your pelvis toward your thighs and stick your booty up in the air a little bit more. And then bring your shoulders back. Like trying to bring your shoulder blades almost towards your hips. Gaze just at the top of your mat. And hold. And breathe. Engage your lower core. You got it. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Step back, high plank. Come up high on the balls of your back feet, or of your feet. Press your hands down so much that the space between your shoulder blades puffs up a little bit. And then try to pull your mat apart, left to right. And feel your core engage. And then press the balls of your feet down and back. And unlike me, try not to look down and instead look just at the top of your mat. Inhale, shift your weight over your fingertips. Exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, shoulder blades together behind you and lift your chest, cobra pose. Exhale, release forehead to mat. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra. Lift your chest. Look forward. Exhale, release. Once more, just like that. Inhale. Feel your back muscles. Pull your chest up. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes and then push up to high plank or tabletop pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's flow through our Sun A breath to movement a couple times. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, tiptoe or step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, Tadasana, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, and lower all the way down to your mat this time. Just one. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, high plank or tabletop, press up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, and exhale, travel top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, ground down, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, rises you to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, and lower all the way down to your mat slowly. Inhale, cobra pose, shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Inhale, high plank, you've got it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, maybe you hop this time. Top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, mountain, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bring your weight into your heels. Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Arms up next to your ears, pinkies toward one another. Try to put so much weight in your heels that your toes can maybe lift off of the earth. And then sink your hips down an inch further. Instead of being super anterior tilt or the opposite, try to find somewhere in the middle. More of a neutral spine. Try to focus on your inhales. And when that's over, focus on your exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, and this time lower halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip your feet, pull your chest through your arms and hold. Your knees can be on the earth here, or you can press the tops of your feet down so that your knees lift. And you can find a soft bend in your elbows and try to bring your shoulders and upper arms back. Exhale, downward facing dog, roll over your feet, send your hips back. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Your front knee should be stacked over your front ankle. Come up high on the ball of your back foot. All toes are facing forward. And then shift your left hip forward and then lunge a little bit deeper. Try to press your left hamstring, so the back of your left knee up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Bring your left foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Front knee is still stacked over your front ankle. Reach forward just as much as you reach back to stack your torso over your hips. And once you've found your space, lunge a little deeper. You can gaze over your front middle finger. Press down into the knife edge side of your back foot. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Keep a nice lunge in your front knee. Reach up towards the ceiling and then back. You can rest your left hand on your back leg, but try not to put too much pressure on it. And you can even look back at your back foot and then find a little bit more of a side body stretch. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth and step back. Lower all the way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, crescent on this side. Reach up towards the ceiling. Don't forget to soften the sides of your neck. And shift your right hip forward. Find your balance, and then lunge your left knee forward just enough so it's stacked over your ankle. Try to pull your hips toward one another, or not your hips, sorry, your thighs toward one another. Inhale. Exhale, open it up, warrior two. And you can feel free to straighten and bend your front knee if you'd like. Actively press, without your hand, your left knee to the left. And then see if you can see your left big toe. If you can't, then open it up a little bit more. Squeeze your glutes so that you can open your hips a little bit more. And then find your gaze either over your left middle finger or to the side wall. Continue your soft, steady, controlled breath. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse warrior. Reach your middle finger up towards the ceiling first and then back, and then lunge back into your front knee. You can gaze back again at your right foot. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Step back and lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's flow through our sun B 2 times, breath to movement. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, travel. Top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sweep the earth, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, paint the ceiling. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step back and lower halfway. It's a long exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side, left leg high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale takes you all the way up, crescent. Exhale, warrior two, open it up. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the earth, step back and lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, hop or walk, top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sit your weight back into your heels. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Engage your lower core. Exhale, step or hop back. Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Chest through your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, maybe your heel first. Low lunge. Inhale, reach up, crescent lunge, front knee over your ankle. Exhale, arms to a T, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Look back at your foot. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Step back and lower halfway. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Find your balance. Inhale, rise, crescent. Exhale, open it up. Press down into the back foot. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step back, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice work. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, travel, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Heel toe your feet out to about hips width distance, and then flip your hands so the backs of your hands are on the earth, and step your feet onto your hands, Padahastasana. And then obviously for this, you have to bend your knees quite a bit, which is good. You can find the pose first, and then straighten your arms, and then start to shift your hips up towards the ceiling. Just so much that you feel a good lengthening of your hamstrings, but no pain. You don't want to feel pain. You can keep your knees bent here, and instead of starting to shift your hips towards the ceiling, feel a nice release in your low back, which is great too. But if you're working on hamstring flexibility, you might want to try to slowly try to inch your hips up towards the ceiling. And release your hands from your feet. You can keep your feet hips width distance if you like that, or bring your toes to touch, a little space between your heels, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's go back to it. Inhale, chair pose, sink back, reach up. Exhale, this time hands through heart center, prayer twist to your right. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Once you find the twist, press your hands into one another so much that your chest goes towards your thumbs. And you can gaze to the side, or you can gaze up past your right shoulder towards the ceiling. Our tendency is to overcompensate with our hips, so try to bring your left hip back in space so that your knees will come back in line. Inhale, reach up, stay in your chair pose. Exhale, prayer twist, other side. Right elbow outside of your left knee. Try to bring your hips below your heart. Once you find that space, press your hands together. I should have mentioned on the other side, you can always have the opportunity to come up into a lifted torso, open arm twist. I think that's harder personally, but it's up to you. And gaze towards the ceiling or to the side. Try to have the weight in your heels. Inhale, chair pose at center. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, curl into yourself. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, crescent, just for a moment, we've been here before. Exhale, prayer twist to your right in your crescent lunge. Again, you have the option to take an open arm twist variation here with your back knee lowered if you'd like. Or you can bring your left elbow to your right knee. You can also lower your back knee here or keep it lifted. Try to lift your torso off of your thigh. And try to bring your chest to your thumbs again. You can always open your arms here to 12 and 6 o'clock. Maybe you even take your right hand and flip it and take a half bind. Inhale, back to center, crescent lunge, rise up. And exhale, plant your hands on the inside of your right foot, lower your back knee, runner's lunge. And for the first second, start to feel it out. And then instead of going right for the quad stretch, maybe this time, you take your right hand and you're going to bring it first behind your right heel on the mat. If that feels good, start to bring your right hand to the right side, but you're bringing it behind your right foot. And stay here for a moment and press your knee into your shoulder and your shoulder into your knee. Feel your hips turn on. Then maybe you bring your hand back behind your calf and start to push your calf forward and bring your right shoulder underneath your leg. And if not, that's fine. You can stay pushing your knee into your shoulder, or you can try to lift your leg up over your shoulder. And if you're here, maybe you lift your right hand like in the T. Option to lift your left arm. So you're like flying underneath your runner's lunge. And then set your hands down when you're ready. And bring your right foot back in between your hands. Tuck your back toes. Shift your back foot so it's parallel to the short edge side of your mat. And then bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Reach up to the ceiling with your left hand for extended side angle variation. Push your right arm into your right knee and your right knee into your right arm. You can be tented up on your right fingers like I am. This is going to be a little bit more of a close off variation of extended side angle since we are having our hands all the way down to the earth, and that's okay because you can really feel a good opening of your right hip. Inhale, rise up. You're going to straighten your front leg, reach up and back for reverse triangle. And then exhale for a regular triangle pose. Arms to a T, shift your hips back, reach forward, 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 and then tick-tock your arms to 12 and 6 o'clock. Try to scoop your right hip under you and your left hip back. Start to bend your front knee, bring your weight into your front foot, and then launch into half moon with your right hand either on the earth or on a water bottle or a block. Reach up towards the ceiling with your left hand. Squeeze your glutes to open your hips. Your right toes should be facing forward, and your left toes, try to externally rotate so your pinky comes back almost to the wall behind you. And then maybe you can lean back even a little bit. Maybe not. Flex your back foot. Option to bend your back knee and reach for the top of your foot for Chapasana variation. Once you have your foot, kick your foot into your hand and let your chest open. And if you have your foot, release half moon. Exhale, standing split, left leg high. Stay here for an inhale. Exhale again for Jiva squat. Almost forgot the name. Bring your left knee to the outside of your right calf. You can tent your fingertips this time. Inhale, standing split, left leg rises. Exhale, Jiva squat, left knee to the right calf. And maybe you bring your hands to heart center. Bring your left heel towards your glute. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, Jiva squat. Inhale, standing split and hold. Try to go for the balance. Close off your hip first. So bring your left hip so it's squared off towards the earth. Maybe you reach to the right, your right back of your calf with your right hand first. Tent your left fingers and start to inch it back. And find your other hand. Maybe it comes up and off the earth. That's fine. One more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. You can shake out your right leg. Whatever feels good. Enjoy your fold. Maybe you give yourself a hug. Reach behind your legs. Drop your head. Shake it out. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Hop back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Open your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side. Left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring your thigh to your chest. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step it through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, crescent twist to your left. Hook your right elbow outside. of your left knee. You know your options. You can lower your back knee. You can open your arms, whatever is calling to you today, even if that's child's pose. And then if you'd like, you can open your arms up to 12 and 6 o'clock. Maybe even take a half bind behind you. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands on the inside of your left foot. Drop your back knee and take this first 2 breaths to feel out your runner's lunge. Maybe you rock to the knife edge side and back of your left foot. And then find your left knee over your left ankle. Bring your left hand behind from the inside. Bring it behind your left foot. See how this feels? If you want to stay here, you can press your knee into your shoulder here. Or start to bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot. So you're coming from behind. And then bring your shoulder just inside of your inner knee. And then press your knee into your arm and your arm into your knee. Stay here, or bring your left hand to your left calf and kind of shimmy by pushing your left calf forward. Shimmy your shoulder underneath your leg. Stay here, or maybe your left arm reaches out like a T. Maybe your right hand tense and then slowly lifts up off of the earth as well. Try to pull your inner thighs toward one another to give you a little bit more stability. And release your hands down to the earth. Bring both on the inside and then your left foot back to center. Tuck your back toes, pivot them so your toes face the edge of your mat. Left hand this time to the inside of your left foot. You can tent them or put them on a block if you'd like. And then reach up towards the ceiling with your right hand. I do want you to keep, even if you're on a block, I want you to keep that I want you to keep the connection between your knee and your arm. And I want you to press your arm into your left knee and your left knee into your arm. I feel it a ton in my inner hip or inner thigh. You might feel it somewhere else. But wherever you feel it, see if you can send a little bit more softness to that space. Inhale, start to straighten your front leg and reach up to the ceiling and back with your left for reverse triangle. Exhale, arms to a T, triangle pose. Shift your hips back. And bring your left hand down to the inside or outside of your left shin. Reach up to the ceiling with your right hand. Again, try to bring your right hip back and your left hip underneath you. Engage your lower core. And start to bend and shift your weight into your front foot. When you're ready, launch into half moon. Bring your right foot up off the earth. Keep your hips open, so externally rotate your lifted leg. Flex your back foot. Reach up to the ceiling with your right hand. If you fall out, that's fine. Just come back in, or don't, whatever feels good. If you took Shavasana like that, you took Shavasana on the other side, feel free to bend your knee, or you can take it, even if you didn't take it on the other side, and reach for your right foot. Once you have the foot, kick back into your hand and let your chest open. And if you have your foot, release it, half moon, and then exhale, standing split. Inhale, lift your right leg and square it off towards the mat. Exhale, Jiva squat. Right knee to the outside of your left calf. Bring your heel as close as you can to your glute. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, right knee to the outside of your left calf. Hands try to come to heart center. Inhale, standing split. Maybe you don't even put your hands down here. Maybe you do. Exhale, one more Jiva squat. Inhale, standing split. And then let's try to go for the balance. Bring your left hand back towards your left calf. Intent up on your right fingertips. Maybe it comes up off of the earth to reach to meet your other hand. One more inhale. Exhale, standing. Forward fold. Let it go. I'm going to shake out your left leg. And find your forward fold and relax for just a moment. Bend your knees as much as you'd like here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back. Halfway down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift into high plank. And stay here for a moment. Inhale. Stay for your exhale. Shift your weight into your right hand. Side plank, left hand up towards the ceiling. Try to press down so much that your hips rise up towards the ceiling. Maybe your left leg lifts. Stay here or bend your left knee and reach your left toes towards the floor behind you, which will start to open your chest towards the ceiling. Once you find the floor, do that. Twist your left ribs up towards the ceiling. And reach overhead for Wild Thing. Still keep trying to lift your hips. And then inhale back to side plank first. Feet meet. Exhale through center. Inhale, side plank, other side. Right hand lifts. Press down to lift your hips. Feel all of your fingers press against the earth, maybe even clawing down at it. Lift your top leg if you'd like. Stay here or bend your top knee and reach your toes for the floor behind you. Once you find it, rotate your chest up towards the sky, rising your hips at the same time for Wild Thing. Exhale brings you back to side plank. Inhale. Exhale, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, hop or walk top of your mat to Malasana squat. So feet on the outside of your hands, and then sit your hips towards the earth. I like to bring my hands to heart center and then use my elbows to press my knees away from each other. This also gives me an opportunity to find a little bit more length in my spine instead of being really curled over. So I'm curled, I press into my knees. I even press my knees back into my elbows for a little bit more activation. And then engage your lower core, once again, still helping you find a little bit more length in your spine. You can stay here, or option to go, we're gonna go into, oh my gosh, I just forgot the name. The bird pose. Going into flight. So bring your left, remember in runner's lunge when we brought our left shoulder underneath our left knee? So we're gonna do here. So we're in Malasana squat. I typically like to come up onto the tiptoes of my right foot and then find the calf with my left hand. And then shimmy once again, just like we did before. Push your left calf forward. Birds of paradise is what it's called. Crazy. And then start to bring your shoulder underneath your leg. Once you're here, Bring your left hand, flip your palm towards the ceiling, bend your elbow, and find the center of your back. And then you can reach up with your right hand, flip your palm, and find the bind behind you. You can stay here and practice looking for that bind. If you don't have the bind, you can always grab for opposite sides of your shirt if you like, or you can just stay here working on the half bind, or you can also stay in Malasana squat. If you have the bind, I start to lift my hips towards the ceiling and bring my right foot to the center of my mat. Come up high on the toes of my left foot. Try to keep my bind, so I'm trying to keep my hands together behind me, and then pressing down into my right foot, slowly trying to lift my left toes up off of the earth. And maybe today they come up, maybe they don't. Once you're here, start to press your right arm into your right thigh and open your chest. You can stay here or start to straighten your left leg. My hamstrings are not super loose, so I can't go much straighter than here, so I like to stay with it bent. So play around with it. Find it or don't. And when you're ready, slowly lower your left foot back down to the earth. Step your right foot out. Release the bind, and you're back in Malasana squat. Let's go for the other side. Right hand behind your right calf. Start to shimmy your shoulder under your right leg. Flip your palm to the back, thumb facing down. Bend your elbow, find your back. Stay here or reach up to the ceiling with your left hand, flip your palm, thumb facing down, and then find your hands together or your shirt, or just work on looking for the bind and opening up your hip. Once here, I lift my hips up towards the ceiling, left foot to the center of my mat, tiptoes of my right foot. I like to keep a bend in my left leg for a little bit so that it gives me some energy, some power to lift up off of the earth. Birds of paradise. Again, you know your options. You can straighten your right leg if you'd like. Ooh, losing my balance. And slowly lower your right leg down. Left leg back out, and you're in your Malasana squat. Nice work. Playing for a second. Reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Heel toe your feet together. Forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, and lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck your toes. Gaze to your left, your right cheek on the mat. You can bring your hands down by your side. Palms facing up or down. And take a moment to thank this beautiful body for helping you work through the past 40 or 50 minutes. Inhale your chin back to center. Interlace your hands behind your back. Zip up your legs if it feels okay for you. Exhale your body into the mat. Inhale, rise your feet and your chest, and maybe your hands come up off of your glutes. And then pull your hands towards your heels. And instead of cranking your neck back, try to keep a long spine all the way to the crown of your head. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And this time, gaze to your right. Let your left cheek rest on the mat. And feel your breath push against the earth. Bring your chin back to center. And we're going to do floor bow, but if you'd like, you can take another locust pose, which is what we just did. For floor bow, bend your knees, bring your feet towards your glutes, reach for your pinky toe sides of your feet. Try to bring your knees parallel, so they're going to be closer together than you think. Exhale down, inhale up. Kick your feet back into your hands. Let your chest rise. And breathe. Let your breath rock you back and forth. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And then flip over onto your back. You can just flip over. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And set up for bridge pose. Bend your knees up towards the ceiling. Reach for your heels with your middle fingers so they just barely touch. Exhale. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Option to interlace your hands behind your back and then try to shimmy your shoulder blades even closer together beneath you. And while you shift your chin away from your chest and lengthen, you also shift your chest towards your chin. So you're trying to find more length and more opening in your chest. And think about who you do this for. It can be yourself. It can be anybody. Exhale, release your hips back down to your mat. Let your knees fall into the center. And windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then come back to center. Set up for a second bridge pose, or if you know wheel and you feel like going to that today, you feel like you're ready, that's totally cool too. I'm going to cue you for bridge again though. So find your heels with your middle fingers. Exhale. Inhale, lift your hips. Shoulder blades underneath you. And reach your chest up a little bit more. And squeeze your thighs toward one another. Exhale, release. This time, bring the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees fall to your mat. Bring your right hand to your heart and left hand to your belly. And if your eyes are open, that's fine, but feel free to close them or soften them. And feel the heartbeat under your right hand beat just for you. And feel the rise and fall of your natural rhythm of breath with your left hand. And say, thank you, body. Reach for the outside of your knees and close your legs like a book. Bring your knees into your chest and first rock side to side, massaging out your piriformis muscles, those little sides of your low back. And then as you're ready, roll up and down until you find your feet and switch over to downward facing dog. You can face the front of your mat again. If you know, I should have said this earlier, if you know that you like figure four, you can always stay on your back and take figure four here. We're just going to do pigeon on each side. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, pigeon pose. Bring your right knee to your right wrist and your left or your right ankle over toward your left. My knee or my shin is about a 45-degree angle to the front of my mat. First, find length. So I like to come up onto my fingertips, open my chest, bring my left hip towards my right heel, and then fold over your front leg, your sleeping pigeon. And if you're looking for more sensation, try to bring your left hip flexor forward towards your heel, your front heel, a little bit more. And this can be a lot of sensation on our right hip. So consider thinking about what that sensation is, nothing more than a physical feeling. And see if you can send your breath and a little softness to that space. And come back up onto your hands. Three-legged dog. You can shake out your right leg or do whatever you do. Other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, pigeon pose. Bring your left knee to your left wrist, right ankle, or left ankle to your right wrist. First, find length, so come up onto your fingertips. And then rest your torso down to the earth. Again, you can bring your right hip flexor towards your front heel. And try to soften whatever space in your body is trying to yell at you right now. And if it's nothing, then soften everything. And press up onto your hands. Three-legged dog, left leg rises. And do what you need to do on that side and set it down. And lift your heels, bend your knees, and last time, hop or step through to a seat. Let your bottom of your feet find the earth. Reach out in front of you and then slowly lower your back down all the way to the mat. And let your legs reach up towards, or your feet reach up towards the ceiling. You can keep your knees as bent as you'd like. You can stack your hands on top of one another and place them underneath your low back and give your hamstrings a break. And then release your hands if you had them beneath your back. Start to bend your knees towards your armpits and reach for the outsides of your feet for happy baby. Pull down, your feet down, but also press your feet up into your hands and feel the bottom of your spine lengthen towards the mat. And bend your knees into your chest. Keep hold of your right knee. Let your left leg fall long. Hug your left knee a little bit tighter up into your I'm talking wrong today, to your right armpit. And then let your right knee fall over to your left. Try to keep your right shoulder down and gaze over that hand. Bring your knees back into your chest. And this time, hold on to your left knee. Let your right leg fall. Give your left knee a bigger squeeze into your armpit. And then supine twist other side. Gaze over your left hand. Come back to center, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself one last big hug. Bring your forehead towards your knees, curl it all in. And then exhale, release everything down to your mat. Let your legs fall to the edges and take up space. Your arms to your sides, hands up or down. Shavasana. You can feel free to take Shavasana here on your back, or if you'd rather, you can come up into a comfortable seat and take a seated meditation if you'd like. I will take you out of Shavasana in a few minutes, so feel free to rest and relax in your space as you are. Let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Relax your third eye center. Let go of the thought that there is any other moment other than this one right now. And slowly start to bring some movement back to your body. Take a deep inhale all the way down to your belly. And you can open your mouth and let it go naturally. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll out your ankles and your wrists. And reach up overhead for a nice long body stretch, like you're just waking up in the morning. And then roll over onto your right side, resting your head on your bicep, fetal position. In yoga, we go from corpse pose or shavasana to fetal position or a rebirth. Just to symbolize that you always have the opportunity to begin again. So here you are. Slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seat behind soft or closed eyes. And once you get there, bring your palms to touch and your thumbs to third eye center. Bring your awareness to that third eye center, the space between your eyebrows, like you're gazing from the inside, like you're looking at the back of your forehead. May you always be unapologetically you. You can bring your thumbs back to your heart center. And it's customary at the end of our yoga practice to say namaste to one another. And it just means the light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you again for practicing with me. I hope to see you again soon enough. And enjoy the rest of your week. and the rest of your day.